Namaskar. Hello friends. We will look at the concept of Guru and Guru's role in spiritual pursuit. What is the need for a Guru? Let's hear one story. I was once traveling by bus with a senior Guru Bandhu, which is a disciple of the same Guru as mine. The radio in the bus was playing some music. I enjoyed the music for some time, but after a while I got bored of it and I also wanted to have a peaceful nap. So I walked up to the driver and requested him to switch off the music. The driver obliged by switching off the speakers and announced that the music was now available through headphones to individual passengers. Sometime later, my Guru Bandhu started talking to me. Guru Bandhu said, "Let me share my thoughts on how the situation that you just went through is spiritually analogous to human life. For some time you seemed to enjoy the music because I saw you tapping your fingers on your thigh. That is akin to we humans liking the worldly life. But after some time you got bored and wanted peace. A few other passengers also would have wanted peace, but they hesitated to act, thinking that the driver may not oblige or other passengers may object, etc. That is similar to our getting tired and bored of worldly life, but not knowing the way out of it. That is the onset of Vairagya Bhav, that is detachment. But certain doubts still linger in the mind. The driver didn't seem to bother on his own to switch off the radio. It is like the Creator sending you into this world because it was your choice and then leaving you to enjoy it as long as you want. However, just like the radio could not be switched off by you, in real life, one cannot switch off the worldly life on one's own. It can happen only by God's grace, through one's sadguru. You are going up to the driver and getting him to switch the loudspeakers off is spiritually akin to a true sadguru who acts as an interface between his disciples and the Almighty to help the former attain spiritual bliss. And I said to my Guru Bandhu, but then it appears as if the disciples don't have to do anything. All that is required to be done is done by the Sadguru. The Guru Bandhu said, in spiritual pursuit, the only critical requirement for a seeker is to have a sustained desire to attain liberation. That has to be backed by unwavering faith in the Sadguru. Even sadhana does not involve any doing. It is simply sitting quietly, taking one's mind away from the physical world and contemplating on the Supreme One. Then I said to my Guru Bandhu, now here my request to the driver was motivated by my own self-interest. However, I don't think a Sadguru works in his self-interest alone. The Guru Bandhu said, Sadguru simply lives his life as guided by the Divine. He does not do anything for his disciples. His life itself is a guide for his disciples. Then I said, many people actually liked the music and hence promptly put on their headphones. Guru Bandhu said, that is akin to many people in real life being too attached to the worldly life. That is the role of Maya or illusion, and it is a part of the big Leela that the Creator has set up. It has place for all kinds of people and all kinds of behavior. Then And I said, now a final question. Why was it that I got up and acted to get the loudspeaker switched off, but you didn't? Guru Bandhu said, it is similar to some self-realized souls becoming sadgurus for the benefit of others, while some others simply remain in seclusion and continue their sadhana. It is a matter of different roles for different people in the divine script. You will meet your guru at appropriate time. Most people feel comfortable in the comfort zone of their worldly life, though it is full of pains and pleasures. They do not even realize, much less acknowledge, that they are in trouble spiritually and can do with help and guidance from a wise guru. In Mahabharata, Arjun realized that he was under the influence of moha, that is illusory knowledge with wrong notions of attachment and right or wrong, causing him to misconstrue his relation to his so-called loved ones. He also realized that he was confused and needed guidance. That is why he surrendered to Shri Krishna, acknowledging him as his guru, frankly shared his predicament with his guru, and pleaded for his help and guidance. That is when Shri Krishna gave his famous detailed preaching, which is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Many people say that Arjun was fortunate to have Shri Krishna at hand in his time of trouble. But we in today's age do not have Shri Krishna around us. So what can we poor people do? However, I feel the very first crucial step for us is to realize and acknowledge that I am in trouble and that I do not know how to proceed. Then we should surrender to our soul and plead for guidance. That is when a guru will guide you. Maybe at first your own soul will be your guru, and subsequently you may meet your living guru as necessary in accordance with the divine scheme. What is the distinction between a teacher, a guru, and sadguru? A teacher, a guru, as well as a sadguru, all of them basically have the responsibility of guiding the student onto a particular path so that he can reach the desired goal. However, there are some important differences between these three. A teacher is one who helps his student acquire knowledge and skills that help him live well in this physical world. So, a teacher may be one who teaches you a language, mathematics, science, or some skills like lathe operation, carpentry, etc. Thus, a teacher's role is purely worldly, with no spiritual angle at all. A guru is one who has attained a spiritual goal and has realized his true self. He can share his experiences and the means he believes can lead his disciples to the same spiritual goal that he has attained. However, he cannot ensure that his disciple will attain the spiritual goal of self-realization. He broadcasts spiritual knowledge but cannot guarantee liberation and self-realization to any disciple. In that sense, he is like an electric bulb that can give out light but cannot light up another bulb. A sadguru, however, is one who, in addition to being a self-realized person, has the ability to lead his disciple to self-realization. In fact, a sadguru, once he accepts someone as his disciple, makes sure that the disciple will attain self-realization, even if it takes him more than one life. It is said that in such a case, the sadguru will keep guiding the disciple in the next lives too. In that sense, he is like an already lit wick lamp that can light up another wick lamp. Do not do as your sadguru does, but do what he tells you to do. At the outset, let me admit that this is a little tricky subject. The question is whether one should do exactly what one's sadguru does. On one hand, there is this school of thought supported by Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which says that wise men should not give up the karma marga, that is path of action, without doership and without desiring fruit, and that they should lead by example. The reason is most ordinary people tend to follow in the footsteps of great men. So, said Shri Krishna, if wise men do not engage in action and all people follow their example and desist from action, this creation will come to a halt. This would normally be taken to mean that ordinary people should follow what wise men do. But I feel we need to understand this a little differently. Each person's situation is different, and hence the context for deciding the course of action has to be kept in mind. It may not be prudent to blindly follow each and every action that one's sadguru seems to be taking. The spirit of the above referred Gita philosophy may be more on the macro level rather than on the micro level. It is meant to convey a global picture and the need for wise people on the whole to demonstrate the importance of sticking to karma marga as a general principle. In other words, it is not to be understood as imitating each and every action of wise men by each and every individual. That is not the purpose of this magnificent creation with the mind-blowing variety, nor will it be feasible in a practical sense. Sometimes we see disciples faithfully smoking a chillam, that is a pipe, because their sadguru seems to enjoy it once in a while. This is dangerous because one does not know why the sadguru is smoking a chillam. For example, he may be doing it to get closer to some smoker whom he intends to redeem. He may be doing it to make that smoker identify with himself in some way, so that later he can influence his thinking and change his way of life, so as to put him on the spiritual path. Also, another important aspect is that it is not the external appearance or the physical act that is material, but rather it is the mental frame behind the act that is important. So, a sadguru may be smoking, but his idea is to ultimately help the disciple on the path of spiritual redemption. We also see disciples imitating their sadguru in the way he dresses, for example, wearing saffron clothes. Such imitation serves no useful purpose. In fact, it may cause them to see themselves as special and different from others, and thus it may stoke their ego in an undesirable way. A real story would be worth telling here. One of the senior sadgurus in our sampradaya used to tell about his mother, who also belonged to the sadguru lineage. During the last 12 years of her life, she never slept at all. She was always in meditation in her free time. On hearing this, one lady disciple also thought of doing something similar. So she avoided sleeping for a few days and kept sitting in meditation. But inevitably her health simply gave way, and her sadguru castigated her for following something blindly without appreciating the fact of a huge difference in the eligibility of different people. While Sadguru's mother was a self-realized soul, this disciple was nowhere close in terms of qualification and eligibility. We will stop here. I'll see you the next time. Until then, bye. Take care.